Hello and welcome to all model railway enthusiasts. It's the end of the year, so the time has come to inventory the railway models gathered this year. For now, my models are stored in drawers and shelves. Here you can see locomotives, passenger cars, freight cars that I have collected in the drawers. By the way, the bubble wrap placed here at the bottom of the drawer works very well. Of course, it is placed with bubbles up, prevents the cars from moving, especially when opening the drawer. The wagons stand steadily and do not bump into each other or the drawer. But let's get back to the topic. I decided to make an inventory of all my model rolling stock. I will do it in Excel spreadsheet. I first took photos of the boxes on which the manufacturer's data is located. I took photos of individual boxes to be able to read them later and enter them into my table. Since I want my database also includes photos of the models, I also took photos of them. So I photographed each wagon from both sides. Here you can see the way of photographing. I set the wagons on a white background. I used a DSLR camera for this, and additional lighting, 2 softbox type lamps. The final effect of these photos is that a photographic base of wagons and locomotives was created. Here is the passenger car that you saw when photographing. You can enlarge it nicely and you can easily read most of the text. Similarly, freight cars and locomotives. Now we can go to Excel and start to fill in our base. In the first column, I enter the type of vehicle and traction, for example whether it is a diesel, a steam or maybe an electric vehicle. We will enlarge the column and turn on row wrapping. We will make it bigger, center it and give it some background to make this line stand out from the next ones. In the second column we will give further information about the vehicle type, whether is this a passenger, freight, universal or shunting locomotive, or a first class, second class cars, in the case of passenger carriages, or in the case of freight cars, it will be for example a coal car or a closed car. The next column will be the vehicle's construction type. In the next one, we will give a designation of the series. Here we will give the side number. We also need a manufacturer of the model and the catalog number of the model. We will also add a railway administration. Well, mostly here, it will be PKP, Polish State Railways. In the next columns we will put era and revision date. Then I will want to post a photo of a wagon or locomotive. Enter the number of model axles. Then length of the prototype in meters. Additionally, the length of the model will be in millimeters. We will also add the quantity, and maybe some remarks. This would be the essential information I will be collecting here. Of course, you can add many more information in following columns, such as purchase date, purchase price, decoder type, etc. Alright, we have entered all columns we will use in our database. As I mentioned, you can add as many columns as you need. Regarding the first two columns, we will enter the predefined names that we will use here. They can be easily selected later than from the list I will add now. I will add a few empty rows above. Later, this part of the sheet will be hidden. In the first column, where we have the type of vehicle and its traction, we will have the following description. It can be a steam locomotive, or a diesel locomotive, or an electric locomotive. It can also be an electric multiple unit. The cars will also be described here. They can be freight or passenger cars. Now, in the cell where we have a choice of type, we will simply enter only the data that are defined above. How to do it? We mark this cell to be entered and use the data validation function, where we enter a list as a source of data. We mark the list in the area where we have our names defined. I also add an empty row so that you can leave that cell empty later. Now, when we click on this cell, an arrow appears. We have a choice of previously defined vehicle types, whether it's a car, a locomotive, or a traction unit. Here, in the second column, there will be much more vehicle types to define. That's why we add a few more empty rows above. So, it can be a passenger locomotive, a freight locomotive, an universal locomotive, or a shunting locomotive. When it comes to freight cars, it can be a covered car, an open car, a hopper, or a platform. It can also be a tank, a refrigerator, or a reservoir. For passenger carriages, I define a first-class car, a second-class car, a couchette and a sleeping car, also a bar car, and a double-decker car. I think that's enough for now. If you need more, you can add it at any time. We will shift these cells down and these rows at the top can be deleted now. I would forget to save the document on my computer. This will be my rolling stock database file. Okay, we have it saved. Here we define the date of validation, we select the values from the list, indicate the list, and click OK. Now we can choose as previously from the predefined list, for example, that it is be a freight or a steam locomotive. We need to make a similar definition for the era. I will mainly focus on the 3rd, 4th and 5th eras, so we will write them down in detail including all sub-eras. As for the epochs, I rely on the standards of the European Association of Model Railroaders. This is the website morop.org. Here is a section with standards, and here are also standards for the definitions of epochs in different countries, including in Poland, which interests me. There is an X mark here, which means that the standard is available in German for now. I switch to German and go to the standards. We can open this standard. We have here the definitions of all model epochs, from epoch 1 to epoch 6. Sub-epochs are also described in detail. We will now add it to our Excel. I will put epoch 1, 2 and 6 only in general. I will put epoch 3, 4, 5 include in sub-epochs. I will also write down the years. I'll speed up the video a bit. I defined the function data validation in the same way as previously. Okay, now we can choose a specific epoch from the list. We can hide the upper part of the spreadsheet, rows 2 to 19. If we need to edit it, we just have to select the first and the 20th row, and click on Hide to show the hidden rows. To make it easier to work, I leave the first line not hidden. The sheet is now ready for data entry. Let's try to input the first data. I need now my photos of the boxes. First I write the data that are defined on the box. I will choose this locomotive. It is a diesel locomotive, and it is a locomotive designed for passenger traffic. Construction type. For now I will leave this cell empty. It is a SP42 series. And the side number of this locomotive is 51. The manufacturer of this model is Pico. Item number is 59274. Railway administration is PKP. It is Epoch 5. Basically it is all data that we could read from the box. I will close now these photos and go to photos of models. We are looking for the date of revision. And we can see that it is the 31st of March 1998. So the epoch is 5B. The number of axis is 4. The length of locomotive is 1424 meters. Length of model I will measure later or find on the website. For now I leave empty this cell. The quantity is 1. I don't have any remarks. We still have to paste picture. I want the picture to be well readable, so I change the RAW height to 80 pixels. I paste the picture here. I reduce my picture so that it fits the row height. And now there is one important thing. I go to picture size and properties. And I choose here, in the properties section, the option move and adjust to cells. We can now copy the format of these cells for subsequent cells. I also set row height to 80. So I will now add another locomotive and passenger car in the same way. I will now speed up the video a bit so as not to bore you. In the next chapter, I will show you the final effect of my database. And this is how entering individual items into the database looks like. Well, it's quite laborious, but I'm happy with it. Now I want to show you what the final result is. I'll open my table. There are several dozen positions on it. Locomotives, freight and passenger cars. The advantage and convenience of such a table is the ease of filtering or sorting by any column or many columns, in other words, by any type of information that we previously collected in it. For example, in column A we can filter out only steam locomotives. And the result is, we have 2 steam locomotives. How many diesel locomotives do we have? Another example, what freight cars we have? Now regarding to column B, what open cars we have in the group of freight cars? Or what refrigerator cars we have? Only one. Or what reservoir cars we have? And together with tank cars? Okay, I turn off this filter. And we move on, for example, to passenger cars. Here we can check what first class or second class cars we own. How many sleeping carriages? Let's clear filters from columns A and B. And, for example, we can filter what products we have from Rivarossi. These are, as you can see, double-decker wagons, among others. And what products we have from Rocco? Let's clear the filter from this column. Administrations, we have only one available, one railway line, PKP. When it comes to the era, here we also have a large selection. Let's see what we have from the third era. We have such vehicles. Or from the whole fifth era. You can see some locomotives, diesel and electric, freight and passenger cars. We can sort, for example, revisions from the oldest. The oldest are freight cars from year 1966. Here, for this items, unfortunately, I did not find the date of revision. I did not see the date of revision on the locomotive. I only have a general indication that this is the fourth era. At the end, few words to summarize. All in all, it took me a few hours to prepare this list. Since I am a visual person, I was most interested in including not only technical data but also photos of the models in this table. Adding new items from time to time should take much less time. I hope I find the motivation to continue completing this table in the future. I already have an idea for additional columns that would allow, for example, to define sets of vehicles that make up a train. For now, thank you for watching. And I hope to see you in the next videos.